I was like, let me just get this up, some done. But I got 15 wrong, which I kind of knew why I got wrong after, but I got 15 wrong.
Okay, I'm not gonna write that one down. Trish or Cora, did you get to any of these?
No, I didn't get to this end part. I'm trying to look at it now in my book.
I just put mine up, so 13, 15, and 16.
All right, let's do 13 and 16, 13, 14, 16. Okay, let's start with 13. All right, Trish, can you read 13 for us?
Sure. Wait, make sure I'm on the same one. Okay. A 6-month public health campaign sought to limit the spread of influenza by encouraging people to take precautions such as washing their hands frequently and avoiding public places when they experience influenza symptoms. Since the incidence of influenza was much lower during those months than experts had predicted, the public evidently heeded the campaign. Which one of the following?
Oh, wait, stop. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Don't read the question quite yet. But don't read the question quite yet. This is I think this question is so funny because it's so relevant right now. No, okay, so you read this. What is our conclusion?
The public heeded the campaign.
Yeah, what does heeded mean?
Took advice and did what they said.
Like followed it. Excellent. Yeah. And one of our big predictor words is since. So since introduces a premise. So since this happened, since influenza was much lower during these months than the experts had predicted, the public followed the campaign. Okay. So then which of the following, if true, most strengthens the argument? So this is a strengthening question. So it's a bottom up. So we're trying to strengthen this idea that the public followed the campaign. How can we go about strengthening it? Did anybody predict anything?
I'll be honest, I'm very bad at predicting these.
That's okay. We'll keep working on it because this is something that can really help you. So everybody take a minute. Everybody take a minute. And if you already have one, come up with a different one or think about how you would weaken it. And if you don't have one, take a minute to think about how you would strengthen it.
So we would strengthen it by, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, take 60 seconds. Everybody think silently for 60 seconds.
About what strengthens it?
Yep, predict something random. Don't look at your answer choices. Come up with your own prediction. If you already made a prediction, I want you to think about how you would weaken it. All right, who wants to share their predictions?
Mine's gonna be funny.
Perfect.
I was like, people don't normally wash their hands unless they're being told to.
Yeah, no, excellent. There was a study that said people wash their hands 80% more than they did before they saw. Yeah, excellent.
I was just laughing because I'm like, that was the only thing I could come up with.
No, it's okay. What other predictions did we have?
Are we doing the strengthen?
Yep, strengthen. Yep.
I mean,
yeah,
same
you should
as
have a
what we're
lot for this.
kind of doing.
You should be an expert in this.
Yeah, same as what we're doing. You know, that people are staying inside and quarantining, or they're, they're not going out to restaurants or bars or whatever.
Yeah, if we could show that a number of people in public places went down in the areas the campaign would run, that absolutely would strengthen it.
But with that's where I got confused, because isn't there like a question stem that kind of says something like, not question stem, like a question option that kind of says something about them going to public places, but like, would that matter if they don't have flu symptoms?
But we're saying that but if nobody had the flu, but we're saying that they expected it to be worse, and so they limited it by telling people to wash their hands and avoid public places. So we're assuming that some people get the flu every year.
Mhm.
Like yours would be true, Selena, if nobody got the flu, but we're saying like, no, the flu's coming. People got the flu, but people washed their hands and avoided public places from spreading it.
Okay.
Does that make sense or no?
No, but it's okay. We can continue.
I know what you're saying though, Selena, because one of the answer choices is like, I think the amount of public gatherings had decreased during that period. It's like a stem that is or a answer that's very, very like tricky, because I think it answers it, but it's not right.
But it's not as strong as another one.
Right. But it's like present, which I think is what's hard.
Right. So
that's what I was saying,
yeah,
because I feel like it's important to note, like, avoid public places, but only when they experience influenza symptoms. So we can't just say like the number of times that you went out in the public decreased, and that can't be like a super strength thing, because they added the fact that you have to experience influenza symptoms. So if I don't feel sick, why do
right. Yes.
You get, that's where my confusion was.
Oh, sorry. I think my prediction was the number of public places went down only in places the campaign was ran.
Yeah, that does make sense, because then you're kind of tying everything in.
Like, yeah, because like if it didn't go down in places the campaign wasn't ran, even if they didn't have the flu symptoms, if they went down, they must have, just because they saw the campaign.
Okay.
That I think like that was the difference. But yeah, I get what you're saying there. Anybody else have any predictions? I thought like maybe other diseases that can be like less toxic if you wash your hands also went down. So like, because this is where the COVID thing came in for me, because I was like, oh, the flu's down, like in Australia, the flu's down this year, but they don't know if it's not a bad strand or is it just down because people aren't going places and people are washing their hands. Okay. So what answer choices did we say for this one?
I think I was stuck between A and C, and then ultimately chose A, but like I was very, very stuck on C for a little bit.
Okay. Any other wrong answer choices?
I was stuck on D.
Any other ones that we want to go over?
I chose B, but I know why it's wrong. Like, I was definitely kind of confused with this one when I was reading it, so I think I just kind of guessed.
Okay. Let's start with D. Independently of the public health campaign, the news media spread the message that one's risk of contracting influenza can be lessened by frequent hand washing. That doesn't strengthen it, Cora, because that's almost weakened it by saying like, how do we know that it's this public campaign that did it and not the news media that did it?
Mm-hmm.
C, there were fewer large public gatherings than usual during the 6-month period. If I would read this one first before the correct answer, I would leave C open. I would have been like, I don't love it, but I could say it. But ultimately, I would end up not choosing this one because there could be one fewer. It's not saying there's like significantly fewer. It's saying that there's one. So maybe like last year we had Beyonce and this year we don't have Beyonce. Like she only comes to New York every 2 years. So that would just be a word strength. D, during the 6-month period, the incidence of the common cold, which many means many things. So at least one of the same symptoms as influenza was about the same as usual. I think B would weaken it because if they had the same symptoms. Oh, that actually doesn't mean anything. I was thinking that this has many of the same, you could do the same things to prevent it. Never mind. But just because they had the same symptoms and the common cold was the same as usual doesn't mean that we didn't follow for the flu. Like they could spread separately or be different. And then A, the incidence of foodborne illnesses, which can be effectively controlled. This is what I love. You can also control this by frequent hand washing, was markedly lower than usual during the 6-month period. So we have two things that were significantly lower or markedly lower that can be controlled by this one thing. And so at least strengthens the idea that this hand washing is the cause of both of them. Do we like that explanation?
Yes.
Awesome.